Happy evening. This is Arun Kumar Natha, founder of InPace Solutions. Uh, First of all, let me thank Global Insurance Brokers for giving me this opportunity to come and share my thoughts on a topic which you may be intrigued to know why I am speaking. Let me start by introducing myself. I am a chartered accountant, and I did my BCom, and I've done my ICAA, and the last one was I did my MBA in marketing and so on. So you may be wondering what this guy who's seemed to be like a finance professional and something to do with marketing, what is he got to do when it comes to emotional mastery. So a disclaimer upfront, I want to say I'm not a psychologist. I don't do any neuro-linguistic analysis and stuff like that. That's not my profession. But having said that, the topic per se, the emotional mastery, yes, I do have emotions, and it's been several years that I've been trying to try my own ways of managing this thing called emotions. So that's probably the reason I've been invited to come and speak on this topic, emotional mastery. Let me start by a few things. The first one, in fact, when Dr. Pratima reached out to me saying that you should speak about emotional mastery, so I questioned myself, how am I technically eligible to speak about something? But then somehow I didn't resist. I said, okay, I'll come and speak whatever I know about it, because she's the one used to tell me I'm a rock when it comes to emotion. I seldom respond, or I seldom come across a person who doesn't respond as much as anyone would expect. For example, I have been through a situation where I've been sitting in the middle of a raid which came to one of my company where I was working. But yeah, I was quite composed in that moment, though it was quite intriguing in terms of some 25 officers came all over the entire office, and they asked about 200 employees to just step out and say that you have to get things closed quickly. So that kind of a person, and she's seen me through very close proximity about how I respond. But then off late, she's been telling me that actually you're not a rock, you're a precious rock, a precious stone. So that's a kind of upgradation she has given to me as far as managing emotions. So it looks like there is some merit in the way I manage my emotions. So let me share a few things about how it works. I put it up in the as a question in terms of I think we do get feel tired at some point of time. We do feel tired. In fact, sometimes we feel that some people drain us. When we see someone, they just drain us and they irritate us, or they may even go to the extent of we just want to get away from those people. And also happens sometimes that keep worrying about the future. What happens, what will happen, especially now this corona thing is going on, lockdown 4.0 going on. Tomorrow hopefully we don't know whether it will be lockdown 5.0 or whatever. It's like a mobile version so we don't know what is it going to be. So a lot of people are concerned about what will happen, worried about the future. So broadly, all of these are, in my view, are emotions. Whether you're worried about, you feel tired, or people drain you, or you're worried about the future. Any of these are emotional phenomena. The way I look at this thing is called emotions is pretty much like anything. For example, suppose I give you the car keys and tell you, can you please take this car, go for a drive and come back. If you know driving, you'll say, okay, I'll go and come. If you don't know driving, you may be worried, you may be scared. Oh, you will say, oh, I don't know how to do it. Or if you're not interested in driving, you can say, I'm not interested, so please, I can't do this. So if the bottom line when it comes to driving is, If you know it, you are comfortable in doing it. If you don't know, you get concerned, you may be worried, or you may be, you may be even scared. Of course, if you make a choice that I don't want it, then you can always refuse it. So in my view, emotion is also something like this, where we have options, but at the same time, getting emotion is not an option. So we have to go through emotions. All of us are subject to emotion. So we have to learn to use them. We have to learn to face them rather than resisting or avoiding or taking head on. Okay, so first thing is, I think we should take an attempt to understand what is this thing called emotion, and then see how we can learn to embrace it, learn to not get emotional about it. I'll come about the aspect of what is emotion and getting emotional. So we'll get to that. So before that, I want us to understand what is emotion. So that will help us to a little bit get eased about what is this animal called emotion. Because all of us go through emotion on a daily basis. Nobody is exempted. As long as we are living, we will have emotions. So that is something inevitable. So now we'll have to figure out how to handle them. So to get to understand this, I feel we should understand ourselves first. Ourselves, if we have to look at it, there are 5 elements to the whole thing. When we say, let's say myself as Arun Kumar Natha, there are 5. I am a composition of 5 different factors which makes the whole of me. The first one is the physical part of it, the physical body, which is one part of me. The second one is mind, the mental portion of me as a human being. So mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. We get so many thoughts. In a day, apparently, we get about 65,000 thoughts. So mind is one part of my personality. So physical, mental, intellectual. We all have intelligence. The intelligence in terms of making choices, saying yes or no to something. So that is intellectual part. The fourth one is the emotion, where we are what we are because of this emotional personality within us. The fifth one is spiritual element within us. All of us are composition of. So when all these 5 come together is what we are made of. We are made of physical, mental, intellectual, emotional, and the spiritual. And it is this order. The order is this. The lowest is physical, the form, what we see, the actions, what we do, the kind of reactions, responses, what we have. So that is the physical part. Mental part is the mind, where whatever flow of thoughts that keeps happening to us, that is the next level of the personality, if I can say, the slightly higher level. Intellectual, the ability to take decision in terms of saying yes to something, no to something, or our value system, or belief what we have gotten. That is our intelligence. The next higher level is the emotional quotient, where what is our emotions, what are our preferences, what is our tendency to embrace pain or pleasure. So that comes as the emotional quotient. And the spiritual quotient is the inner being, the life which is flowing within us. And the simplest way to explain life is the breath what we take, the inhale and exhalation. I would simplify and call it as that is the spiritual part of me. None of us take a decision to take a breath. It's just happening. So that is the spiritual part. So this is the order. Okay, this is the order in which our personality comprises of. And if you see it, the emotional is right below the spiritual part of us. It is such an important, in the hierarchy of what we are comprising of. So it's important for us to understand what is this emotions is all about, and why does it occur to us, and what is that we have to do to handle it well. So to get to understand what is this emotion phenomena and how does it work, I want to look at it in a very simplistic way. Okay, if I am a person, I want to look at it as a person where what happens to me when an emotion comes. So broadly, the entire thing, the way it works, our emotions works on three aspects. Either it is about me, all about myself, what I go through. It can be happiness, it can be sadness, it can be anger, it can be jealousy, it may be excitement, it can be exuberance, it can be anything, any kind of thing can happen about me. So if you have to visualize as a circle, I am right in the middle. The me, the self is one. And this next circle, the second layer, is the people that I relate with. It can be the family members, it can be the friends that I'm, or colleagues that I relate with. So that's the second layer. That layer where when I am relating with them, there are possibilities of getting emotions involved in it. The third layer is the world in general, wherein I don't relate to them one-to-one, but those are reality. For example, the pandemic, that's the reality. It's the world thing. So I do have certain emotions about it. I will have certain emotions about it. So that is a third layer. So first layer is about myself. The second layer is about the people around me, my family and friends. And the third layer is the world at large. If I have to say the only thing which is connecting all the three layers, it is the feelings. The feeling what comes to us. Let me explain what I mean by the feeling. For example, I like blue color. Okay, let me say I like blue color. That's my favorite color. Whereas for my wife, it may be white. Okay, so if anybody asks me why you like blue color, I may give some logical explanation, but heart of heart, I also don't know why I like blue color. I simply like. And same is the case with my wife. She likes white and she likes white, and that's it. The challenge comes when I start imposing my preference to my wife, saying that, oh, you should like blue. That is one challenge. Other challenge can be, I don't like white. That's another situation where a feeling of hatred can come or feeling of comparison can come. So what our own preference is something we bought into it and we live by it, and that also evolves. In fact, I very clearly remember when I was a small kid, my favorite color was brown. I used to be fascinated about brown, and when in my adolescent age, I enjoyed blue. I enjoyed gray color. Shades of gray was my preference. Now it is blue. So in my own thing, there's so much evolution in terms of my own preferences are happening. For example, when I play music, I feel so happy about it. I feel so relaxed about it. I play music and it gives me, so it makes me feel so good about it. Whereas, if I go to, for example, if I have to travel, if I have to drive my car, I don't generally prefer, I don't like to take my car out. That's not my natural preference. I prefer to just, avoid driving my own car. If anybody asks me why, I don't know. Maybe there is some reason, maybe, but I don't understand all of it. So my emotions come because I have certain feelings attached to it. There is some feeling which I go through in any of my actions. Okay, when I take an action, there is a feeling that comes, or a feeling comes and then I act on it. So that is one. Also, when it comes to relating with the people, family or friends, there is a feeling attached to it. For example, the feeling that I'll have with my mother could be very different from what feeling I'll have with my uncle. It could be very different to the feeling that I'll have with the neighbor. And that thing also changes, evolves over a period of time. It can be situational, it can be circumstantial. So feelings also keep changing. And feeling about the world, yes. Sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the world and I think that, okay, I can conquer anything. I just have to release the thought and it will happen. Sometimes I may be wondering, am I doing it right? Is the world is going to be cooperating the way I want it to? So those feelings do come. So the constant thing for all of us in all these three layers is that there are feelings which keeps coming inside us. And there is no way we can control it. There is no way we can control a feeling that comes within us. As long as we are born in flesh, as long as we are living, we will get feelings. And there is no logic for feelings. It just keeps coming. Sometimes, you might be wondering, right? Sometimes you watch a movie, you just keep just laughing, or you just watch a song, experiencing a video song, you just love watching it. Sometimes you don't just feel like watching it. You just turn it off or you just flip it to something else. There's no reason. You maybe say it's a mood. It's not really mood, it's a feeling. Sometimes you are bored. Sometimes you are very excited. Sometimes, there's a lot of exuberance in, the entire thing which around us, about the environment or the circumstances. Sometimes there is no logic, it just happens. So feeling is inevitable. So that is the one factor I feel we should be cognizant of. I mean, there are many times I've seen, sometimes, for example, my son comes and tells me saying that, Dad, this is what I want. Sometimes I just accept it without much questioning. Sometimes I probe him to death. He'll get frustrated and he'll run away from me. So he also will be wondering why Dad is responding like this. And I also wonder along with him why I'm responding like that. So the feeling of whatever comes, whatever gets planted in us is something we cannot control. Then you may be wondering, then how do I respond? What should I do? This is the principle I believe we should understand. Feeling comes. What I do with the feeling manifests into an emotion. For example, I may get a feeling of anger. A situation may come where I may get the feeling of anger. If I process a thought of fighting it back, a thought of putting the other person down, a thought of avoiding the situation, then it becomes a negative emotion. I become angry. Whereas I may get the feeling of anger, but I can just choose to hold on. I can just choose to say that, okay, maybe this is not the time for me to act upon. I can choose to change it by asking some question, asking some clarificatory question. Then that emotion become a positive emotion. So if I have to put it in a very simple formula way, feeling plus the thought, what I process on the feeling, becomes an emotion. On the feeling, if I put a progressive thought, it becomes a positive emotion. On the feeling, if it is a regressive thought, it becomes a negative emotion. So we may be wondering, how do I manage this? Feeling we cannot control, whereas the thought, what we process, we can control. We can choose. That is where the personality of mental and intellectual comes in play, wherein we can actually choose to respond the way we want to, based on the feeling which is coming within us. When we can choose wisely, then the emotions that comes out of the manifestation of the feeling into an emotion becomes a happy emotion or a sad emotion. It can be a positive emotion or a negative emotion. So understand. Even for example, when a child comes to you saying that mama, like that, okay, the child is coming to you with so much of happiness. That means the child is feeling very happy about it. But you may be having a bad time in your work where you are a little irritated. That's the feeling. But when the child comes to you, okay, when you are in the irritated, there is an irritated feeling is there within you. How do you respond? What thought you want to process? Will you want to help the child to be happy about it, or will you want to tell the child, get away from me, don't come to me, or scream at the child? It is up to us to choose what thought we want to process to the feeling that has come to us. Okay. So if we can choose wisely, whether it is a progressive thought or a regressive thought, will help us to manifest into a positive emotion or a negative emotion. And the beauty is, this can be trained. We will not be masters. Emotional mastery is not about getting it in one go. Just because I said feeling plus setting to motion is emotion, feeling plus progressive thought is equal to positive emotion, feeling plus regressive thought is equal to negative emotion. Just because I said it and you probably understand it, it's not going to change. It's not going to change your emotions overnight. It will take time. It will take time for us to process it. It will take time for us to practice it. It will take time for us to make corrections in our day-to-day life. How do we do that? What are the different things can be done to, gain mastery over the emotions? The simplest way that I practice, okay, it's been, I don't remember when I started also, it's been several years since I've started this practice of introspection. What do I mean by introspection? Introspection is a simple analyzing my day at the end of every day of what all I've done. It is basically a journal, an analysis of what all I did in the entire day by the end of the day. So before I go to sleep, I sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Start from how I got up. Okay, I set up the wake up call for 6 a.m. Did I get up at 6 a.m.? Then I got up at 6 a.m. Then I went for brushing my teeth. Did I brush as per, did I brush happily or did I brush, sleepy? So I have to analyze each and every activity what I did on the entire day so that I know that what I have done. So what happens is when I analyze whatever without even correcting anything, we don't have to correct what did I do right, what did I do wrong, none of that. We just have to analyze them, not even analyze, sorry. We just have to run through the day. We just have to run through the day as part of the introspection. When we do it, okay, our mind is so smart, it will find what it has to do to correct it. When the next situation comes, for example, I set up the wake up call at 6 o'clock and I did not get up at 6 o'clock today. The next day, after the introspection, when the wake up call rings at 6 a.m., my mind immediately says, hey, you missed it yesterday. Do you want to miss it today also? It will prompt. It is up to me to decide whether to do it or not, but it will prompt. So through this process, through the process of introspection on a daily basis, when I do it over a period of time, what I want to do and what I do will become the same. Because many a times we feel tired, we feel strained because there is a gap between what I want to do and what I do. There is a gap between what I desire and what I do. Whenever there is a gap, there is a split in me. When there is a split, I feel emotionally drained. When I feel emotionally drained, I feel even more, low on energy. So the best way to do is reduce the gap between what I want and what I do. This can be done by, on a day-to-day basis, analyzing my own day, analyzing the self-audit of what I do, so that I'm able to master the art of managing my emotions, handling my emotions, so that I don't feel a victim to myself. Why would I put myself down? I have gone through in my own day, in my own life. There were a time where I used to be very scared. I used to be very concerned for no reason. Sometimes no reason, because I just cannot control the situation. I used to be, in my younger age, I used to think that, oh, we are not rich enough, we are not rich enough, we are not rich enough. But what can be done? If you are not rich, you are not rich. So getting emotional about it is not going to solve anything. So let's understand this simple math. So I would look at it as a math because it's a science. It doesn't matter who uses it. If you use it well, it will work in our favor. So when we know that feeling is there, that is inevitable, I cannot avoid. When I back it up with the progressive thought, it becomes a positive emotion. When I back it up with regressive thought, which is not in favor of it, then it becomes a negative emotion. When I understand this, when I'm able to practice introspection so that I'm able to work on myself, I'm able to, correct myself on a continuum basis over a period of time. The way I will relate with myself, the self part becomes improved. When my relationship with myself improves, over a period of time, my relationship with people, my relationship with my, family, my friends, neighbors, that will improve. When that improves, my relationship with world also improves. The root cause is the feeling, and the feeling we cannot control. But what we do with the feeling is very much in control, and that is, you can't blame it to anything. You can't blame it to circumstances. You can't blame it to God. You can't say that I'm designed like that. No, this is not a design. Design is feeling that will come. What you do with the feeling is very much in your hand. When you work on it, we will be able to have mastery over emotions. So I spoke about this emotion and getting emotional. Okay, what we do is, because many a times if we don't handle the feeling with a proper thought, it becomes a negative emotion, and then we get sucked into it. We get into patterns of suffering. We keep suffering to an extent that it becomes an emotional drama. Okay, so that is not required. Okay, it can go wrong. Our emotion may not be positive always. It can be negative. We are all human beings, right? We are not machines. We are not a robot. We are not a machinery where you switch it on and always happy. Because some people think that why you get upset sometimes. And I keep telling them, I'm a human being. I'm supposed to be like that. I can't be smiling all the time. I can't have my face with a U curve all the time. That may not be practical for me. I will have my own thoughts going, my own feelings are coming. Sometimes I may handle my emotions well, sometimes I may not handle them well. But I need not have an emotional drama. I've come across, they go into emotional drama. I have seen brothers, for example, they may have some difference of opinion. Some arguments may be there between the brothers. I've seen they don't talk for 20 years. I've seen husband and wife, they don't talk for 15 years. They live together, but they just don't talk. They don't interact at all. Because there is something gone, against with each other. And they chose to saying that, okay, that is your way and this is my way. That's not the way we can handle our emotions. We have to figure out how to not to get into emotional drama of, masking ourselves with our limitation. First, let's accept that we have limitation and we are designed like that. We will have limitations. We don't have to punish ourselves. We don't have to kill ourselves saying that, oh, I have a limitation. My emotions are not, always happy, always positive. My emotions are negative. Sometimes I don't feel good. Sometimes I'm nasty. Sometimes I get angry. That's okay. We are human beings. But how quickly you come back, how quickly you become human, how quickly you can be better, that is what makes you as a better human being. And when we can switch over, when we can swing over to become better, then we are in an upward spiral of evolution of our emotional well-being, upward spiral of our emotional mastery. When we are master of our emotion, then the way we will be able to handle situations, it's phenomenal. Do you think Prime Minister Modi has anything different in terms of having more than 24 hours or not, having challenges or not having, hatred against him? He's also like us. It's just that he's figured out how to handle emotions well. He has mastery over emotions. So he's able to do things which we all keep wondering, how come a man is able to be so much composed? And doesn't mean that he doesn't fall. He also fails. He also does mistakes sometimes. But then he comes back. We all make mistakes. So let's not worry ourselves. Let's not kill ourselves saying that, oh, I've done something wrong. No. It is a question of how quickly we come back. The best way to come back is recognizing the fact that I will get a feeling which we cannot control. What I back it up with a thought of progress or a regress will decide whether it's a positive emotion or a negative emotion. When I can remember this, when I can remind myself, when I aware of it through my introspection process, I will be able to gain mastery over my emotions. When I'm master of my emotions, the way we will be able to, just a thought, you release a thought, it will happen. You release a thought, that's it. Things will happen. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to run around saying that I want this, I want to do this. None of that. Sitting in one place, you can manifest so many things. You can pull things without a lot of effort when we are gaining mastery over emotions. Okay, I wish you all a very best. I'm not able to, I don't know if you have written any of the written questions, which I try to answer by message, through your comments. But I wish you all the very best in terms of managing this beautiful thing called emotions. It's a gift. We are emotions. When we have emotions, which means it's a proof that we are a human being. Let's celebrate this beautiful thing called human being by gaining mastery over our emotions. Thank you so much. I love you all.